All right, what is going on, everybody? We are here to end off Season 7 with a bang. We are back for the grand finals of Season 7. We have 5 of these bad boys coming your way from Novice all the way up to Titan. A lot of exciting action coming to you on this championship Saturday. And we are excited to get things going with the grand finals pre-show. We're going to break down all the action, all the matchups, all the do's, don'ts, and even give our predictions on who we think is taking the championship here for all 5 of these leagues. And yeah, I'm happy to be back. I am the director, if you didn't know, Nemesis director, and the host for tonight's pre-show on this fine Saturday evening. And I've got a couple of fresh faces in the booth. First up, we got season 4 champion and our marketing lead, Jaegers. Jaegers, how are you doing on this fine night?
I am doing fantastic, Austin. Ready to hands out some trophies.
Oh yeah, that's what we're here to do. We got 5 championships to give away, and $1,500 is on the line tonight. There is a big gap between first and second place, and people don't just want the money; they want the clout as well. So they're going to be going hard for sure. We're also joined by Season 6 champion and Season 7 All-Star, who's been making a big showing in the Prospect League. We got Puggles.
Hello. I'm excited to be here. The first pre-show I've been on, but definitely not my first grand finals, so looking forward to it.
For sure. Glad to have you here. And last but not least, we have the Season 5 and Season 6, so back-to-back GM of the season. We've got Dan. He's been doing great work on the podcast. Glad to have you, Dan.
I'm glad to be here, Rockerman. I'm just looking forward to see who we're going to crown tonight as the champions and who's going to go home, sadly, as second place runner-ups.
Yeah, there will be some runner-ups, unfortunately. That is how it goes, but it all comes down to this. I know these teams have been working hard all season. We've had a crazy season. It's been our biggest season yet. We have 16 teams in all leagues. We added the play-in tournament back to Novice League and play-in tournament for the first time in Titan League, and it's been crazy. We've had, I think, well over 400 players that have been available and ready to go for this season. So it's been a huge season 7. Definitely what we expected for our biggest season ever, biggest prize pool, biggest player count, and the biggest stakes we've ever had here heading to the grand finals. So a lot is on the line here, and we are going to give you guys a rundown through each one of the leagues. We're going to work our way from Titan downward, leading up to the Novice League grand finals, which is the first one. So we're kind of going in the reverse order here tonight. So why don't we do a little bit of a season in review? Let's start with the Titan League, where we have number 5 Blizzard, or not number 5. Oh, is it number 5 Blizzard? It is number 5. Someone made a typo already on the document, but we have number 5 Blizzard taking on number 7 Pinnacle in the grand finals, a season 5 grand finals rematch. And we're going to go preview both these teams. Let's start with Dan the Man, the GM of the back-to-back champions Blizzard. Dan, what can you tell us about these guys and their season so far?
So Blizzard actually had to start off with a new roster as they won back-to-back championships for Seasons 5 and Season 6. They had to find a new third for their roster because Soares was unable to join them because of the MMR boundary. So they decided to pick up Zinvez as their new third, and overall they looked pretty solid throughout the season, going 12-6. And including that, they also beat Pinnacle in Game 5 for the regular season here. And they're just looking to go for a 3-peat overall and just to see what this new roster and what they can do.
Yeah, that would be Nemesis history there. We have never had a team go back to back championships. So Blizzard looking for history here with that 3-peat. And they've got a good chance here. They've got a good chance, but they are going to be going up against, what Jaegers, they might be a little bit of a Cinderella story. Not many people expected them to be here, but we've got Pinnacle, a Titan League powerhouse back in at the grand finals.
Yeah, no, actually, Pinnacle was there for the start of the Blizzard's attempted 3-peat, losing to them in Season 5, but they're going to try and end it here in Season 7. They were the 7th seed after having a 10-8 season and a very rocky regular season off and on. They were also swept by Blizzard in the regular season, so they are going to be looking to get a little bit of revenge. Also, Zen and Insanity, Zen from Blizzard, were teammates back in, I believe it was Season 6, if I'm not mistaken, where they both lost to Blizzard in the grand final. So Insanity looking to get a little bit of revenge here in Season 7.
Yeah, definitely. And Zen, we'll definitely be talking about him. I know the casters. I know me and Bagels are on that last match, and we'll definitely be talking about Zen. He's got a couple of runner-up tags, and he's looking to finally break through. He's got 3 runner-up tags, 2 in the last 2 seasons in Titan League, and he's looking to break through. He's looking to finally get his first championship with the Blizzard, but yeah, he was even on Pinnacle, and it's good that you mentioned him. Him and Sandy were teammates on Reapers in Season 6, and actually Zen was on Pinnacle in Season 5 when they lost to Blizzard in a Game 7. So Zin's been around this matchup for a long time, been around Titan League for a long time. We'll have to see. Pinnacle, they have made a run throughout the playoffs, the postseason to get here. Puggles, what can you tell us quickly about these two teams and how did they get here? How did we get to a Blizzard Pinnacle Grand Finals rematch?
Yeah, so obviously we're gonna start off with the higher seeded team of Blizzard. Right now, they're just 4-0 sweep. They only had to play in the playoffs. They didn't have to do play-ins. So they 4-0'd Nebula. Then they 4-0'd the number one seeded Krakens, and now they're sitting here in grand finals. But you know, then we switch over to Pinnacle, and they've had very close series all the way throughout. So since they were two of the higher seeds in the play-in tournament, they just needed to win one to get in. So they won 3-2 over Vanguard, and then they beat Spartans 4-3, the number 2 seed, and then they beat Venganza, the number 3 seed, 4-2. So honestly, for both of these teams, Blizzard, they can just sweep them real quick, and Pinnacle, they just gotta keep it close.
Yeah, definitely two sides of the spectrum there for sure. With Blizzard not dropping a game, got the forfeit win, and then surprised everyone. Really, I know I was surprised about that one when they swept the Krakens in the semifinals, but they made it back, looking for that three-peat. And yeah, Pinnacle, they've had some sketchy times here, but they've made it. And yeah, Puggles, what can you tell us about this matchup going down tonight? Maybe a little bit of a short preview.
Yeah, so it happens at 10 p.m. Eastern. You know, it's gonna be at the or basically the repeat of season 5 grand finals that you mentioned. So back in season 5, Blizzard did win in 7, so we're looking at a historically very close series. But Blizzard, like you said, they're looking for the very first three-peat in Nemesis history, and Pinnacle, they're hoping to stop that and make sure that history isn't written yet today.
And Pinnacle will be looking for their second ever championship. This is their third grand finals appearance. So looking to make a name as they are the winningest team win percentage wise in Titan League history. So they're looking to show Blizzard up here and end it off strong. But let's quickly go through who we think is going to win this matchup. We're going to go round the horn. Let's start off with Dan. I'm sure his prediction, his winner is no surprise. But Dan, what are you taking in this series?
I got my boys, Blizzard. I got them in 5. I truly think they're going to repeat what they did in Season 5, beating Pinnacle in that championship, and then also getting that three-peat. Give me Blizzard in 5.
All right. Dan's got Blizzard in 5. Puggles, who do you got in this one?
You know what? Honestly, Blizzard, they've looked unstoppable. I gotta also take them in a 4-1 against Pinnacle. I think Pinnacle gets a game, but once Blizzard starts going, there's no stopping them.
Fair enough. So 2-4-1 victories for Blizzard. Jaegers, are you bucking the trend here? What do you got?
You know, Austin, this is rough for me because I'm AGM of your org. I love Pinnacle. They're a great team if they pop off, but this Blizzard team is something else, Austin. And I see it going the distance, Game 7, but I do see Blizzard taking this one. I'll be pleasantly surprised if Pinnacle takes it, but I gotta go with facts and logic here and take Blizzard.
All right. Looks like I'm surrounded by a bunch of Blizzard lovers here. But I am going the other way. I'm going with Pinnacle. They have upset everyone, surprised everyone this entire playoff run. I'm not gonna lie. I did not expect them to make it this far, but they have surprised me. They have improved a lot throughout the season. I have got Pinnacle in 6. I think they're gonna pull the upset, but I think it is definitely gonna be close. I mean, Toxic and Mad Max, two great players. Love them. Done a lot for Nemesis and been great competitors. So I'm taking Pinnacle in 6, but I do think it is going to be close. It should be a great matchup in that Season 5 Grand Finals rematch. That is at 10 p.m. Eastern, so that is the last one of our night. But it will be a great one to watch, so make sure you stick around for the entire stream to see that one. And let's move right along as we try to get things moving a little quicker here as we're headed into Rival League, where we have number 1 Hydra taking on number 7 Distortion. Another thing we didn't mention, there are a lot of 7 seeds. There are 4 7 seeds and an 8 seed to make the grand finals, which is history. But Puggles, what can you tell us about the number 1 overall Hydra?
All right, so Hydra, I mean, they're 17-1 right now, and then if you include the playoffs, they're basically at let's see, it's 19-1. There's really no stopping them. The only team they lost to is Whiteout, who they beat in Game 7 in the first round of playoffs. So they're looking really good. They're the first seed. And honestly, there's just no stopping Hydra right now.
Well, there may be someone that can stop him. Jaegers, we got Distortion on the other end making the first appearance for a deviation org for KN.
That's insane. Finally, a little bit of representation for Kane's org. Distortion finished the season off 11-7, but during the early part of the season, a lot of people had them as a potentially top 3 team, and they're going to need to return to that form in order to beat Hydra. Hydra 17-1, looking insane right now, but they have shown that they're not infallible, I guess to say, as they had to overcome a reverse sweep. Had to reverse sweep a rival to come back and make the finals. And the last time Distortion played Hydra, they didn't have their full roster. So look for this to be a close one.
Definitely could be. Dan, what can you tell us about how these teams got here? I know Jaegers, and we mentioned a little bit that they've had some interesting runs to make it to this spot.
Yeah, absolutely. Hydra, the only team that they beat them, Whiteout, they had to play them in the first round, and it was kind of pretty much sketchy because Hydra, to my knowledge, they were pretty scared of them because, like I said, the only team that they could beat them all regular season. So they beat them in Game 7, and then they reverse swept the rival in the semis, which that's incredible, especially in the playoffs of best of 7. You can't beat that. Hats off to you guys. And then on the other side of things was Distortion. They had to come through the play-in bracket. They had a 3-2 win over the Chimeras. Then they had a 4-3 win over the Pineapples, and then last but not least, they have a 4-3 win over Blaze to get here. So I'm looking to see what they're going to actually do to show up tonight against Hydra.
Yeah, and that is a crazy line there for Distortion. Go in the distance. Went to Game 5, went to Game 7, went to Game 7, and Hydra, both of their matches went to a Game 7. You mentioned the reverse sweep. This match is going to be at 9 p.m. Eastern. I mean, with all these teams going the distance, I mean, how can you not think that this one is going to go all the way to a Game 7? I certainly think so, but let's go around the horn again and have some predictions here. Again, let's start with Dan. Dan, who do you got in this one? Is it going to be Hydra finishing off this amazing season, or does Distortion have another upset in them?
Well, I'm going to have to go with a little bit of history here. I know this isn't the first team from the Big Dragon Energy org to actually have a really, really good season and win it all. I'm going to go back to Drake's a couple seasons back. I believe it was season 3. But I got Hydra in 6 tonight. I do think they're going to pull out the win and complete the good season.
All right, Hydra in 6 there. Puggles, who do you got in this one?
You know what? I'm going to have to agree with Dan once again, but I'm going to have to put Hydra in 7. All of these series have gone to 7 for both of these teams, so why not just end it on a Game 7 once again?
Hey, that would be one heck of a way to end it. Jaegers, are you sticking with them? You got Hydra in this one, or are you taking Distortion, possibly on a little bit of an upset?
You know, Austin, I'm gonna have to buck the trend here. It's no fun ever everyone picks the same team, and I mean Hydra has a history of starting slow in these playoff matches, and I think it catches up to them here. I have them it going the distance, but I have Distortion taking it in 7.
Ooh, all right, a Distortion pick. KN's first team to make a grand finals. Can they seal the deal? Distortion has been around for a while, and they have been making some moves in the rival league. So we'll see if they can pull it off. Unfortunately, I am not going that way. I am going with Hydra here. I think we're going the distance yet again. These two teams, they just have been made for content. They've went the distance in every match they played in the postseason so far. So I think we're going the distance, but I think Hydra will do just enough to squeak it out. I think the Biscuit, just something about him. He just wins. He just somehow finds a way to win all the time. So I think that'll be enough. I think Mayo and Tashega are really gonna put in some work. So I'm taking Hydra in 7 there. So that is the rival league, and that one is happening at 9 p.m. Eastern. That should be a good one. Number 1 Hydra, number 7 Distortion, a spicy matchup for the rival league championship. Let's move right along now to the Challenger League, where we have the number 5 Raptors taking on the number 7 Bishops. Jaegers, what can you tell us about the Raptors?
Well, the Raptors had the 3rd best record at 14-4, only dropping their last 3 games, but that was without their full roster. And I mean, with one game behind both the 1 and 2 seeds, like it could have been anyone's game if they didn't have that suspension. I do know Cotney started out on the Drakes, however. I I think he went 0-4 and 1 or 3, something like that. But then he got traded to the Raptors, and then they just flipped a switch and just started winning. So this is a very offensively potent Raptors team, and it's scary to go up against.
Yeah, they're definitely a scary team in the Challenger League for sure. I know there's been a lot of talk about them all season. They've been talking a lot, but they're going to be going up against the Bishops here, who surprised some people here, making their way all the way to the grand finals. They ended the regular season at 9-9. I know playing in the Challenger League, I thought they were a little bit of a sleeper team as they took Ascension. They took us to a game 5. We actually had to reverse sweep them, so they have the potential to pop off there. They've definitely got that clutch factor, and they took down some teams in the playoffs here. Got a forfeit win in the first round, unfortunately, but they've made it here. They've had a decent regular season, and with Kratos, Mr. Climax, and Fort, they can be scary. I think Fort has improved quite a bit, but they're going to need Kratos and Mr. Climax to pop off and see if they're able to make it. As Bishop's very solid team, and they definitely made a run to get here. Puggles, what can you tell us about their run to get to the grand finals?
Yeah, so Bishops, they had to start off in plans, so they did beat Dissolve 3-2 there. And then unfortunately Flame, they had some internet issues during their series against Bishop, so Flame had to forfeit, unfortunately, but Bishops, they took that momentum and they ran with it. They just pretty much steamrolled through Motion only getting one game against them, and now they go up against the Raptors in this grand finals, who the Raptors, they didn't have an easy road either. They had to play the number 4 team Venom, who's from my org, but definitely one of the lower teams on the divisional scales. But they were able to 4-2 them, and then they had a huge upset against Ascension, being able to 4-0 Ascension, and now they're in the grand finals up against this Bishops team that's looking pretty good, and looks like they can have the clutch season of their lives.
Yeah, they may just have the clutch season of their lives. If they can pull it off, could be the first ever championship for the Chess Hall. I'm going to go right ahead. This matchup going at 8 p.m. Eastern. I'm going to get us moving right along into the predictions. Maybe can explain our predictions a little bit here, as we got Raptors versus Bishops. Dan, back to you again. Who do you have taking this matchup and becoming the Challenger League champions?
Fortunately, Bubbly's not going to like when I say this. I got Raptors in 5. I'm sorry, Bubbly. I love you, but your Bishops are not going to be able to pull through tonight against this Raptors roster.
Might be an uphill battle for sure. Puggles, who do you got in this one?
Raptors, they looked really, really good against Ascension, and they 4-0'd Ascension, so Raptors, they 4-0 Bishops. It just makes sense to me, so I think Raptors, they got this in the bag.
He's got the brooms out. Puggles is bringing the brooms here for the Challenger League Grand Finals. We will see. Jaegers, you are a Challenger League player, so you probably got some insight here. Who are you taking to become the Challenger League champions?
No, I mean, Bishops are really underrated squad. They're a lot better than I feel like people give them credit for. But unfortunately for them, the Raptors are even better than that. And I do see the Raptors taking this one 4-2. That being said, if the Bishops get their shooting under control and they get their accuracy, I could see this one going the distance.
All right, well, I guess that leaves it up to me here. Surrounded by Raptors pickers. Yet again, the lone man. I'm going with the Bishops here. They are going to take this one in Game 7. I think they are a sleeper team, and I think they're actually going to surprise a lot of people with their performance tonight. They haven't had the hardest road to get here, but I think they're a really solid team. I expect Kratos to absolutely pop off here tonight, and if Fort plays solid, they are going to go the distance, and I think the Bishops can take it all. So I'm going with the Bishops here to win it all here over the Raptors, but we will have to see. It should be another spicy one. That one is happening at 8 p.m. Eastern for the Challenger League Championship. And let's keep moving along here as we're headed into Prospect, where we have the number 1 seeded Melons taking on the number 7 Minotaurs here in this one. It should be another good one. I'll quickly do the preview for the Melons regular season, unless someone else wanted to take that one quick. Saw someone highlighted it.
I could go ahead and do it also.
All right.
I'll take control here. So the
All
Melons lost the first 2 games of the season. Not a good way to start. But after they made a few roster moves, they never really looked back. They went on a 14-game win streak, with 2 of those being 3-1 wins over the Minotaurs, who they're playing tonight. And they are, without a doubt, one of the most dominant teams we've ever seen in the Prospect League. Had a 15-3 regular season record. First seed going into the playoffs. They are without one of their starters, however, but I mean their sub Adola stepped right in, and I mean it's just been flawless for them.
Yeah, the Melons, a very, very solid team. They've been a staple in the Prospect League for a while, and definitely a good team to play here tonight. Puggles, what can you tell us though about the Minotaurs? Maybe surprise the people to make their way into the grand finals.
You know, to a lot of outsiders here, this is a pretty big surprise. But to me, someone that plays in the Prospect League, Minotaurs making it this far isn't really that surprising. You got to take into account that sure they might have finished 9-9 in the season, which is a little bit lower than what you'd want. But for the entire season, they were missing Rogue, who is really just the key part of this team. That he really helps bring them together. And they work so much better together when he's there. He's just such a presence to deal with and super hard to get around. So missing Rogue for most of the regular season is why they were such a, I guess, middle of the pack team. But now that they got Rogue back, they got 7th seed in play-in, so they jumped straight up to play the 2 seed. They ran right through the bracket, and they're looking really good. But definitely one of these teams, or definitely the one team that I would be looking out for in these grand finals.
Yeah, definitely. And Dan, why don't you tell us about how these 2 teams got here, and then give us a quick preview of the match tonight.
Sure. With the Melons as the 1 seed, they had to play against the playing team that was soon to be Velocity as the 8th seed. They had a 4-2 win over them, and then a lot of people for this next matchup really thought whoever was going to win this was going to win the whole thing. Melons versus Gladiators. And so the Melons actually came up on top there, and so a lot of people were favoring the Melons just to win it all. But on the other side of the bracket, the Minotaurs, they had to go through the play-in bracket. They won 3-2 over Hypernova. Then they had a 4-1 win over the Bandits, and then finally they had a sweep against the Vipers to make it here. And just a little bit of a preview tonight, starting at 7 Eastern. The Minotaurs are starting without Snazzy tonight, which a lot of people think Snazzy is one of the best prospect players in the whole league. On the other side of things, they're missing Alex for the Melons. So it's going to be interesting to see what the Minotaurs can do without Snazzy, and then Melons without Alex.
Yeah, we've definitely seen these two. Both of them played their semifinal matchups without those guys. And Jatron stepping in for the Minotaurs, so we'll definitely see him tonight. And then the Melons, they had Adala stepping up huge for them in their win over the Gladiators. And we'll have to see what they can do tonight. Let's quickly run through these predictions yet again. Dan, I'm going right back to you. Who is winning the Prospect League Championship tonight?
You know, I hate the Melons. They're rivals of mine. So just for that reason, I'm going to go Minotaurs in a 4-2 fashion. I got the upset in this one, Rocker Man.
The hate prediction. You love to see it. The rivalry prediction there. He's going with the Minotaurs. Okay, all right. Puggles, who do you got in this one?
You know what, Melons? They played with Adala the entire playoffs, so they looked really good with them. And I think if Adala even has a fraction of that, they're taking Minotaurs 4-1. I also just don't like Rogue, because Rogue bad. So yeah.
Oh.
Right in the heart of Rogue.
Yeah.
We'll have to see if his Minotaurs can make it here, survive all the odds. Jaegers, I'm sending it to you. We got some hateful predictions going down here. You got any beef with these guys in your prediction?
I have no beef with anyone, Rockerman. That's my motto, no beef for Jaegers. But that being said, Minotaurs are looking really hot lately. I mean, ever since Rogue got back, they've just started peaking, and I know they were 9-9, I believe, to end off the season. They've been like steamrolling these playoffs, and Melons are good, but I feel like the Minotaurs' momentum's just too good right now, and I'm taking Minotaurs in 7.
Minotaurs in 7. It leaves it to me here. And as much as I'd love to be a man to pick the upset, I'm going with the Melons in 6 here. I think there's going to be too much to handle for the Minotaurs, but I do expect a showing for them. I'm going to go Melons in 6, but don't be surprised that the Minotaurs can push it a ways there. So let's see. That is the Prospect League. Let's run through the Novice League, which is going to be our next matchup coming up in only about 6 minutes from now. So we got to kind of move a little quickly here. Let's go through it. We got Whelps taking on Ignite. Puggles, what can you tell us about the number 3 Whelps?
Well, Whelps, they have the legend himself with beautiful hair, Jeff Masters. So, Jeff, he walked into the novice play-ins. He looked amazing. He walked in with a GC tournament winner title or tag, which kind of blew my mind because I don't have one. So he absolutely showed up everyone in novice, and now he is just completely destroying them with his 2 teammates. His two teammates, Mr. Moreno and Grebsy. So right now they look pretty much unstoppable. They're looking really good. So I mean, it's gonna be pretty difficult for this Ignite team to upset Whelps here.
It's definitely going to be a tough one. The Whelps have been favorites all season long. Started out the season on the 8-match win streak, but they're going up against Ignite, who are the underdogs. They may be the fan favorites here after they made it at 8-10 on the regular season, and they pulled off the reverse sweep against Frost on stream to keep their hopes alive. They had to win out. They won out. I know I think me and Merely were casted, or at least Merely was hyping them up. I remember. And Ignite, they have been the underdog team, the lowest seed to ever make a grand finals here at 10. And they are going to be the underdog and the Cinderella story here. That is for sure. And we'll have to see what they can do. I'm going to quickly speed through this run to get here. So Whelps, they had a 4-3 win over the Ninjas and then a 4 over Frost. And we'll talk, Puggles and Jaegers, we'll talk a little bit more about this when we get things going. So we'll keep it nice and brief, but Ignite, they made a huge run through the play-in tournament, won twice in the play-in tournament, 2 sweeps, swept the number 1 pawns, and then beat the defending champions. And that one was insane there. And as we mentioned, they could be the lowest seed to ever win a grand finals. They're already the lowest seed to ever make a grand finals with that 10th in the play-in tournament. So a lot of pressure on their shoulders, but maybe not pressure, as they are definitely the underdogs. Maybe turn favorites here. Let's quickly go around the horn. Dan, who do you got in this one? Whelps versus Ignite. Who is taking home the Novice League Championship?
Give me Ignite, getting their first championship for the Firestorm org. I got Rooney and the boys in 6.
Ooh, all right. Ignite in 6. Puggles, who do you got in this one?
You know, I gotta go with Jeff Masters himself. You gotta love the flux and the hair. I got him going in 7. Ignite, they're going to be a tough opponent. Definitely, in my opinion, the closest grand finals to watch, but I'm definitely taking Whelps in 4 here. Or in 7.
Oh, in 4. I was going to say, whoa.
7.
The closest series, a sweep. Respect.
Oh
Puggles got the Whelps in 7 here. Jaegers, who do you have taking home the Novice League Championship?
I'm going to talk a little bit about this more in detail in just a minute, Austin, but I have Ignite taking this one in 7.
All right, well, we'll hear a little bit about that in just a couple minutes. I'm also going with Ignite in 7. The underdog story reigns supreme. There have been underdogs all over Nemesis this season with, all these teams. There are 4 7 seed and 8 seed to make the grand finals. It has been insane. I'm going with the underdogs. Ignite, they make history here as the lowest seed to ever win a Nemesis championship. So I'm going with them. But that is going to wrap it up here for us. We are going to be heading over to the Novice League Grand Finals. It is finally that time. Everyone's been waiting all season just for this. So make sure you guys get your friends, get your family, get everyone in here. Get ready for the action tonight. There is a lot in store. It's going to be fun. So make sure you sit back, relax, and enjoy. And let's send it over to Puggles and Jaegers. They're still at the booth, but they're moving over to the other booth. They're casting this one. They're going to be casting the Novice League Grand Finals. We have Whelps. We have Ignite. Puggles, Jaegers, you guys take it away.
All right. Thank you, Rocker Man. As he said, we're moving into the Novice Grand Finals here. So looking at what we all know and what we just went over, I'm surrounded here by Ignite lovers and Whelps haters. So Jaegers, I know you were gonna go into why you are choosing this Ignite team. So please enlighten me. Why should I change my prediction?
Well, Ignite's just been on a 6-game run going into playoffs. They took down the 1 seed, took down, I believe it was the 4 seed, if I'm not mistaken. And they've just been popping off lately. Just very mechanical team, and they're just fun to watch. Rooney, very mechanical. Vita has the shooting down pat, and Charles, a great third man. But if you go on the flip side, Puggles, it is going to be a close one, led by Jeff Masters. They got Grebsy, Mr. Marino, who's been a shooting legend. I do see this one going the distance, like I said earlier. But I mean, just Ignite just has that spunk, and they have so much momentum right now. They're just a really fun team to watch.
Yeah, I will give you that. They are very fun to watch. I was watching. Every time that I turn on the Ignite series, Rooney seems to hit some insane shot. He had some insane wall read in the Pawn series, and then against Spitfires, I think he had some corner read, which he one-upped himself when he didn't have to. So that was pretty insane. So yeah, I agree. They are a fun team to watch, but I mean, you got Whelps. They're just, in my opinion, the more consistent team over the entire season. Like you said, Ignite, they had to win out for their in order to even make playoffs. So, but Whelps, they didn't have to do that. They started off so well, and maybe you can tell me a little bit more on how it all started for Whelps here.
No, yeah, Welp started off the season 8-0, and then they kind of faltered a little bit, dropping the majority of their last games. So they started out hot. A lot of people were pegging them to be the 1 seed and the favorite going into the season, especially with that pick of Jeff Masters early in the draft by Biscuit. And Biscuit was telling me beforehand he was very excited for this Whelps team. But just towards the end of the season, it kind of flipped. I mean, Ignite just went on this ridiculous run. So it's really a tale of 2 streaks almost.
Yeah, absolutely. You did say Ignite playing really well, and then Whelps, they did dip off a little bit, and that is why they got this 3rd seed. But you gotta give credit to all the other novice teams. It was very very close throughout the entire way. So 3 teams tied with 12 wins in novice. Very close and a little top heavy, if you do get my opinion. But like you said, Ignite, they're running through the competition right now. 4-0 against Pawns, 4-2 against Spitfires. But Whelps, they took it to 3 against Ninjas their first round to get warmed up, and then 4-0 against Frost. And you said Whelps in 7. You said Ignite in 7. I said Whelps in 7. So we are looking forward to that. But we have a player. Actually, everyone's in the lobby. We're getting ready to go. And yeah, anything else you want to add before we get started here, Jaegers?
No, I'm just ready for the grand finals to finally get started. We've been waiting all season for this, and finally the culmination is underway.
Yeah, like you said, we have waited all season, starting all the way back in May with the draft and first weeks of games, and now these teams, they've changed up their rosters to get to this point. But so far, the roster that's looking the best is Ignite, starting off super early with Rooney, getting some pressure on net, but not to be outdone. Jeff Masters marching all the way down the field, throwing it off the backboard, but getting stopped by Ignite. Mr. Marino trying to get it in the corner, but Rooney clears it out to Charles. Charles throwing it in the corner. And a bit of a double commit from this Whelps team. Something we're going to have to look out for from both of these rosters is the double commits. See if those can be capitalized on, even down here in the Novice League. As Charles, he's looking like Rooney out there, balling 3 of the Whelps, but not able to get a good opportunity on net. But Rooney able to stand tall so far, and Jaegers, it's been quiet. Just kidding. Charles, he's going to put in the first goal for Ignite.
No, as you were saying, it's quiet. It looked like Charles was shooting almost immediately. Just a nice pass by Rooney off the wall. And no by back post for the Whelps. That is a very dangerous aspect of this Ignite offense, Puggles. They put one shot off the sidebar. and then there's just another Ignite member to follow up immediately. So that's how they get a lot of their goals.
Yeah, so those counterattacks are going to be something to look out for, as they already got one goal for it from Mitch Charles, set up by Rooney. But, you know, this Whelps offense, it seems like they're going to favor demos here, as Jeff Masters and Grebsy both getting demos here early off in the game. But nothing's coming from it, as Rooney already up in the air, trying to put it off the backboard for a teammate, but not able to score. It's just Masters. He has an open net, and Whelps, they bring it, or they tie it up here.
Just a nice clear by Grebsy. Is Charles unable to get the touch, and Jeff Masters punishes him for it. And just like that, we have a tied ball game. Game 1 of Grand Finals.
Yeah, so both of these teams scoring off counterattacks. Gonna see if that's gonna be the moral of all of this this novice action today. There's Rooney, a big clear off the ceiling, able to follow it up, get a big double touch, as Charles not able to follow it up himself, and the ball's gonna get cleared over the Ignite's heads. Rooney able to make it back in time. Jeff trying to get a shot on net, but Charles able to save it away. But Jeff staying onto this ball, not wanting to be outdone, staying on the offense, as the wall read a little awkward for the Ignite defense, as Grebsy gets another demo onto It's Charles. Mr. Marino working the corner, but Rooney is there to stop him. He takes it out, takes it over too. He has an open net, but he's going to be able to follow it, and it's going to go in, as Ignite, they get another counterattack goal.
Just a nice outplay by Rooney. Nice little air dribble. Two Wolves players get caught double committing for that, and Rooney's just going to pass the ball around them and just dribble the ball into the back of the net.
Yeah, and Jaegers, I got to ask, what does this Whelps team, you know, I'm already seeing a little signs of double commit, and it seems like they're getting a little nervous here. So, Whelps, what do you think they need to do in order to stop this super mechanical player of Rooney?
Yeah, I think they just need a challenge early, and then just have them beat two people. Vita gonna put a nice shot on target, but Mr. Marino gonna save it away. But yeah, no, I think they just need to have one person challenge him, and then another person behind to collect. They just need, I'm trying to discipline on defense. And if they have good discipline, they should be all right going forward.
Yeah, discipline, making sure one of those players go, and definitely not two of them, as we've seen it go pretty badly for the Whelps so far. But a big 50, it goes off the backboard, but Grebsy not enough boost to make it, and Vita trying to get it out, but Marino able to hold it in, and it's Charles trying to save the day, but gets the ball away from Whelps only momentarily. But Rooney able to pick up some boost, get a big clear out to his teammate, as Charles pushes it all the way down the field, but he's not going to be the first one to the ball, as Whelps, they're swarming it right now, as Marino down to Jeff Masters. Vita up, trying to stop Grebsy, but a huge takeoff from him of Jeff Masters off the backboard. Marino's there, trying to work around this defense so far.
Nice
But
shot.
a little bit of a mistouch from Charles, and a nice shot from Jeff Masters.
And just a lot of pressure coming out from this Whelps offense, forcing the Ignite defense to make a mistake, and Jeff Masters makes him pay, tying up this game and putting in his second goal of the series.
Yeah, Jeff Masters, that player to look out for from the Whelps. Both of these teams have all-star level players. As Marino, a huge dunk onto Rooney, shutting down that clear opportunity.
Oh
but
my.
a triple commit from Ignite, but a big dunk once again from Vita. As Grebsy is going to pass it over to Marino, as he takes it up the wall, trying to send it mid, but Rooney able to read it quickly, as Vita, he's there, not going to beat out Grebsy, but the ball is still dangerous.
Oh
Jeff
my,
is there,
no.
but not able to get a great 50 of this. Charles able to get in another goal.
Just a lot of pressure coming out from this Ignite offense. The Whelps defender just gets an unfortunate touch, pops the ball up, and it just waterfalls down, leaving the net open for It's Charles to put in the back of the net and put his team up by one. With 30 seconds left, let's see if Ignite can hold off and take this game one victory.
As they're looking to do so, as a bit of a double commit once again, 2 times in a row from Whelps. They're starting to panic a little bit here, but
Oh my.
this is a shot on net. It's gonna go in, and panicking, it seems to be working right now for Whelps.
Yeah, no, Jeff Masters has shown up to play, putting in the hat trick and tying up this game with 20 seconds left. I don't want to jinx it, Puggles, but we could be going to OT in this game one.
The big first game or OT here is both of these teams coming out swinging, but Jeff Masters, he's gonna shut down that attack really quickly as Marino gets a huge pop.
Oh my!
He has a good chance on net. 2 go, but Marino nowhere to be found for Welps as Charles, he's gonna go the length of the field, but the ball, it's still up in the orange half, but it's gonna hit the ground. And like you said, we have our very first overtime here in game 1.
Puggles, that could have been a game-winning shot right there. Jeff Masters puts one target, but Charles makes it back in time. And as far as momentum goes, I don't know who has upper hand here.
Yeah, I would have to agree. It's a little difficult to really tell which team has the momentum, but right now, Welps, they're on the offensive half. They have the better opportunities.
Oh my, Charles!
But Charles, a huge angle looking after his teammate Rooney. But unfortunately, it's going to get saved away. The highlight level goal, but not quite able to be enough as Charles, he outdoes one. Vita, he has a good opportunity on net. Jeff Masters puts it up in the air, but Rooney's there striking off the backboard, not able to put it in. As Grebsy, he's going to miss the clear, but Moreno, he has it as Vita stretching out to make that save, but he's able to get it nonetheless as Vita, he's going to take the ball off of
Oh my.
He has an open net. Jeff Masters, awkward on the back end.
Yeah, no, Grebsy gets an awkward touch, and Vita just going to pop the ball up, getting a searching shot, and Jeff Masters just gets caught on the back foot with the ball soaring above his head. What a not the way you want to win a game 1, but you know, a win's a win.
It definitely is. Ignite, they start off strong, but they end up scraping their way through this first game. But Welps, they had a great comeback here as we get ready for game 2. I mean, Welps, they looked so good, but like you said, the discipline, just personally for me, it didn't seem like it was quite there for from Welps.
Absolutely, and you know, Puggles, that just could come down to on-stream nerves, Game 7 nerves. Anything's possible. This is like you don't want to lose this. You don't want that second place tag. Whenever you're this close to first place, but I mean, the Whelps, they just need a challenge early on Rooney's offense, just because he's a very mechanical player. His game sense isn't always there, so he'll sometimes air dribble where he doesn't need to air dribble. But sometimes the Wolves just need to like challenge him make a mistake, and then collect the ball as a second man. You can't double commit on a team like Ignite, who are such a mechanical team, and if you mess up, they'll make you pay.
Yeah, absolutely. As we saw, Charles, he had an opportunity there to put it away in overtime earlier, but he just couldn't quite find the angle, which, you know, was quite unfortunate. It was an insane corner read, but I mean, it's just crazy that they that happened. So now we're just getting a few things sorted out here for before the next game. But Ignite, like you said, Rooney, sometimes he air dribbles when he doesn't need to, and I think one of those times in that overtime is when he looked for the backboard to try and slam it or try to get a double touch, but he really could just put it on target. I think it would have gone in.
Absolutely. I mean, sometimes in Rocket League, you just need to put the ball on target, and but I mean, he's going for these high level plays, and in novice, like sometimes you don't even need that. You just need to put the ball on target because the defense isn't always there, Puggles. So sometimes you just need to put on shots on target as opposed to going for low percentage, really flashy plays. Like that might work really well in the higher league, but I mean, in a league like novice, you don't. You just need to shoot the ball.
No, I definitely agree, and we did see that as the defense wasn't there for every time, from both Ignite and Welps to make the save. So I think for Welps to really come back and get some good offense, it's really going to come down to counterattacks and seeing if this Whelps team can get it by Rooney and make sure that they only need one guy to shut him down early, like you said. So the discipline from Whelps needs to be a little bit improved, but I do think they definitely have it within them to do that, Jaegers.
Absolutely. I mean, even game one was an extremely close game. And I mean, this has all the makings for a 7-game series. I mean, it's also possible we do get a really close sweep, which would be disappointing. But I mean, let's hope for the best. Let's get these grand finals kicked off with a bang. We have a long day ahead of us. And I'm just excited to kick it off with you.
Yeah, I am too, but it seems like we're still having a little bit of technical difficulties. So as we keep getting those set up, I mean, let's just look forward to maybe the series after this real quick. It is going to be Minotaurs and Melons, where both of these teams, Melons the number 1 seed coming in, Minotaurs the 7th seed, had to come in through plans. Just very quick reactions, just so everyone knows what to watch when what's coming up next.
Yeah, no, I mean, the Melons and Minotaurs should be a good one. That's another one I do see going the distance. I don't know, like the Melons have been so good all season, and then Minotaurs just had this resurgence. And I mean, I could see either one winning, but I do in fact see Minotaurs taking it, like I predicted earlier.
Yeah, like you said, or yeah, you were right in what you said earlier for Minotaurs. But I mean, Minotaurs, like you said, they came out of nowhere. But I remember beginning of the season, there were 3 top teams. It was Bandits, who were the number 1 seed that Minotaurs beat, and then it was my team, the Vipers, back to me at Josh, and then it was Minotaurs with Rogue. But unfortunately, Rogue had some PC issues throughout the entire regular season, so he wasn't able to be there. But now it looks like, well, all 4 of those, or all 3 of those teams, they did end up making it to playoffs, but only Minotaurs can make it to the grand finals. They ran through both of those preseason top teams, and now they're playing the currently top rated team of Melons, who are looking pretty good here, but fortunately they don't have Alex, who is probably the best player in Prospect right now.
Absolutely. I mean, Alex is if I'm not mistaken, he's going to be a rival next season. Uh, so it could be very scary. For I mean, if he was in fact playing, unfortunately, he did have a bit of a ban, but would have been a very scary offense. This Melon seems still good nonetheless, though.
Yeah, this Melon team subbing in Adala, who was on Vipers for a bit of time. He is very good in his own right, so very glad to see him go all the way to the grand finals. And he was playing really well in these earlier matches as well. So he's looking just phenomenal, as a great stand-in for this Melons team here.
Absolutely. I mean, the band really did just pop off. And like, I don't know, a lot of people kind of saw the Gladiators maybe being the favorite ever since they lost Alex, but Adola really just stepped up into his role and acted like nothing happened.
Yeah, and that was the semifinal match after Gladiators. They did, I believe they perfectly swept Warhawks in that quarterfinal. So, Gladiators, they had a bunch of momentum, but unfortunately they weren't able to outdo the beast that is Melon. So, but coming back here to our novice matchup, we still have Ignite.
Right.
And
sorry to cut in here.
oh my!
We're actually need to mute this here. Sorry to cut in here. We are gonna switch the streamers real quick. Apologies for the technical difficulties, but the stream is gonna be down for just a quick second, and then we'll be right back with the obviously grand finals, which should be starting very shortly. So appreciate you guys being patient with us, and we'll be back in just a second here. Yeah, and